sophomore at Montgomery High School. And first of all, thank you, Nikunji and Parth, for this opportunity to be part of HSC. So I'd always been very connected to Hindu roots, Indian roots, especially because I've been doing Carnatic Kuchipudi dance, Carnatic music since childhood, like a lot of other students. And I was always very proud of that heritage. But it's when I came to like 5th, 6th grade, when they start teaching you world history, when they start teaching you about religions, that I kind of felt that foundation shake. Because what they were teaching me in the textbook versus what the values I learned at home, the values I learned in the temple, what you learn at dance, were completely different. So there are a lot of hard questions I wanted to ask about the usual things: caste system, sexism, pluralism, mutual respect, all of these. I wanted answers. So I would often go online. But online there's this exact same thing. And I kind of felt like I needed more answers. So then I realized, and I took these to my dad and my mom, and both of them have found really good works, really good books to help explain to me just what exactly is Dharma. Why is Dharma different from religion? What are our tenets? You know, what makes what we learn at home different from what we learn at school? And so I'd always been very into Dharma and trying to learn about more of the philosophies. And I think it's when I got to high school that I realized that most teenagers were not like this. Most teenagers who are Indian or Hindu, because there's a lot of non-Indian Hindus, they kind of gave up in finding these answers. They gave up in trying to find why is the caste system like this? Why is this puja like this? Why do we have goddesses? Why do we have dance? Why is this philosophy like this? They just gave up. They were just like, it's too uncomfortable to talk about that. It's too uncomfortable to try to find another perspective. I'm just going to shut it up. And so then I was like, okay, then I guess maybe I can talk my perspective to some of my friends. And then I realized that actually there are a lot of people who feel like they do not have a strong base. They feel like they're not being taught at home, because you go to your mom or dad and you're like, okay, in puja, why do I have to do this certain thing? Why do we do that? If you don't get an answer, you're like, well, then this just makes no sense. And I realized that there are a lot of people who really willingly want to learn why, and they want to see other people their age taking up this initiative to bring more perspective on what Hinduism, what Dharma really is. And then, so I was like, okay, so, and coming to the part of students at school making clubs for religion, there was a Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and there was a Muslim Student Association, and a lot of my friends were in those. And I'm like, why don't I make a similar thing for Hindus? And my dad was like, well, you don't need to reinvent the wheel or feel lonely. There's a huge organization, Hindu Students Council. They've been doing a lot of good stuff. They've been championing for the rights of Hindus. They've been trying to bring different perspectives through respect. So why don't you contact them? And usually, like they were saying, they've been in university so far, especially with the university professors and whatever is going on there. So I was like, okay, maybe I can start in high school. So I contacted them, and now we're going to start Hindu Student Council in Montgomery High School. It will happen. We will have a lot of people who are interested, and we're going to try to maybe even try to talk to the administration about some things that we find taught. If we could not necessarily confront, but it would be nice to really bring a different perspective of the people they're talking about. For example, in 6th grade, they're teaching incorrect things about Dharma. And we actually got the test question removed with the test because the teacher realized that he was forcing the students to take a test and get a grade against their values. So I was thinking if we could do that same type of, not just changes, but just discussions among the Hindu community in how to be strong in our beliefs, especially from a young age in high school, because by college a lot of people are lost. If we can start this foundation from high school, it'd be so nice to have a community so we don't feel left out, we don't feel lonely, and we can really pursue the mutual respect, pluralism that Dharma is supposed to bring. And we're all talking about parents and upbringing, so I want a homework to parents. Someone needs to define Dharma versus religion, and we all need to bring this to our kids. Otherwise, we feel confused. these things as a chaplain. We don't need a chaplain. I can go and pray by myself. A few of us can go, we can dance, then we can discuss why. We don't need someone to tell us what to do. That's not what Dharma is. So these fundamental differences where we talk about ourselves instead of some person with a degree that has no idea what they're talking about, we need to take the initiative to be proud of ourselves. Thank you so much. Thank you.